What's up, friends, family, and fans? We've got another little episode of some Underdog best ball drafting today. Just got back from work. We're taking it easy. I've got a few active drafts, so we're going to knock out here real quick while we're on the show using the DAWG Dominator, which is a tool I have built for best ball PGA over at Underdog. It's a sick tool. Go to my Patreon account, The Model Maniac, to get yours today. There's two people that I need to buy it more, and then I'm moving the price up. It's been selling like hotcakes, so make sure you get in before I change the price, because I don't want too many people to have this thing, because it's a massive advantage, as you will see as we go through all of this. So I have all my different tabs. I'm in Iowa. I can't do these fast drafts, so I have to do the slow ones. And as a result, I've got a million drafts going on. So we are tabbed up at the bottom over here. We're kind of on the back end of the 100 that I started like 2 weeks ago. And we're going to just figure out where we're going here. So let's dive right into it. I'll kind of explain some stuff as we go. I actually got an hour till my next draft. So I do want to just quickly go check some important stuff, because the FedEx Cup ranking is going to be critical for these guys. And we want to make sure that we're getting the right dudes in our lineups. Talk about a slow ass. Pulling up this PGA website is one of the worst things when you stream. But we'll have to just do it quickly. Terrible. Look at this. Disgusting stuff. All right. So here's the projected standings, because what we're trying to find out is, guys, we're going to be making the top 60 right over here. So Nick Taylor, I don't think, is even playing right now. Let's take a look here. Boom. Okay. No, he's not playing. So he is out. Nick Taylor ain't going to be in the top 60. So the guys that are inside the top 60, between 51 and 60, get into the first two signature events, which really helps your roster flexibility going on over here. So Nico Echeverria made the cut, I believe. Kevin Yu made the cut. Ben Griffin is not playing. I think he feels comfortable enough to be making it. These are projected rankings. Lucas Glover made the cut. Mark Hubbard made the cut. So let's take a look and see. Glover, T49. Hubbard, T32. Knapp, T37. Boy, after coming, look at this. An eagle, some bogeys. He, after a rough start yesterday, he was 4 over par and made a ton of birdies. So I've been drafting a lot of Knapp. If he can get it figured out, find himself getting into the top end of this situation, yeah, we are in good shape. Justin Rose hasn't played a single fall event. He doesn't want to play signature events, so he's out. Minwoo Lee, not involved. Lee Hodges, I believe, is right at the top of the leaderboard, yeah, and he's T2, so he has to pretty much win this thing almost. I mean, if he's sitting projected 66th, he's not going to likely get much better than that. So he's not going to be in. So guys, we're going to be looking at to draft still today. We're going to be looking for Tom Kim, but we won't be getting too much of him because we're on the back end of our drafts. We're looking for Lucas Glover. Because what? Glover is standing T49. You know, if he can shoot up the leaderboard. I mean, he shot even par today on the tough seaside side. So he can get it going. We can figure it out with old Glovester. I've been drafting a lot of him. He's a blue collar boy. He's going to be playing a lot of golf. I think he's going to be finding himself in the mix in all these non-signature events as well. You know, that's basically what you're really looking for at the end of the day, is volume from these golfers, because part of the DAWG Dominator, let's go over here real quick and I'll show you quickly. I've got a little cheat sheet over here. And you can see, like, if we filter by, let's go total DFS points from last year for this exact stint. We'll go Z to A to make it a bit bigger. The guys who scored the most DFS points last year, Tom Hoagie, Siwoo Kim. Then you get Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. I'll zoom in a touch. Then you get Xander and Scotty. Then you got Corey Connors, Eric Cole, Tom Kim, Sungjae Im, Sahith Theegala, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon, JT Poston. These are all guys that you don't necessarily think, but it's because they played a lot of golf. If we go to 2024 for this stint from the Century to the Open Championship, this is what these points are reflecting. The other years are just from the previous full year. Like that's how much golf they played that entire year. So if we go to rounds, Z2A, there's Eric Cole with 83 rounds. Tom Hoagie, 77. Siwoo Kim, 77. Tom Kim, Corey Connors, Brendan Todd, Adam Svensson, Sungjae, Brian, Denny, Akshay. Scotty, Xander, all of the big names going early in these drafts. Rory McIlroy. Let's go try to find a freaking where's Rory on this thing? We'll be scrolling and scrolling for days, like just to kind of prove my point here with don't become an ADP zombie. Feel free to click around. You don't want to be doing too much crap and follow the suit of these ADPs because Rory McIlroy only played 57 rounds last year. That's not going to help you. He's likely going to do that again this year, maybe even less, maybe a bit more. Who the heck knows? But that was like 68 in the freaking PGA Tour, like with Patrick Cantley. So trying to find guys that can get into those signature events quick in the beginning, and then who are likely going to just keep playing golf to trying to just like a little, those like fish that just like keep nibbling away, trying to get into that top 60, trying to just keep nibbling. That's what we're looking for. So these are guys that are all going to rank really high for me. Brendan Todd, Adam Svensson, not terrible situations. They played a lot of golf, but they were both inside the top 50 of priority ranking in 2023. They've been downgraded significantly. Tom Kim, as we mentioned, is going to find himself right on this roster. This is projected. So maybe he gets in, maybe he doesn't, but I would imagine he also gets a ton of sponsors invites, if not, along with Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth. I've also drafted a little bit too much Jordan Spieth, in my opinion, because his wrist injury could cause some problems. So just a little bit of background, kind of the thoughts behind what we're doing, and then we can figure out where we want to go. So the first draft we have here is number 79. Let's go figure out where number 79 is here. Boom. All right. So the cool thing about this tool is you can build it out, especially if you're doing the slow drafts, or even if you are drafting a live one. If you get used to this thing, you can kind of project yourself out, go big, put in a full team that you can kind of figure out. I have the ADPs here for you guys. You can figure out where you want to go. And once you've built it out, or you can have a projected lineup that you want to try and target given your draft position. So on the slow side of things, you can optimize these lineups a lot better than the slow drafts, but you can also pick some massive value up in the fast ones if you have this tool. So other people might be just neglecting some important guys. So just kind of pointing that out to you as well. We are pretty much in the final pick here. We've got pick number 10. So it's going to be Matteo Manacero because I switched these around a little bit. But we're trying to get into like the 160s here. And just to explain this to you guys, if you're watching for the first time again, this grid at the top, you're trying to get to 160. I think the maximum is 168 because in this best ball contest, you got round one includes 7 events. The best of the 6 people that draft in the draft goes through to round 2, number 1. So the top dude in each draft goes through to the next round. The same thing happens in round 2. The same thing happens in round 3. And then everybody that's made it through those first 3 rounds, once you make it to round 4, it's going to be a free-for-all, about 250-odd people going at it in basically a DFS type contest. But I want you to also remember that there's no finishing position points for Underdog. So you're just looking for guys to give you volume, make cuts at easy events in particular, because then you get scoring points for under par, birdies, birdie streaks. You also get points taken away for bogeys, double bogeys, and triple bogeys. On Underdog, it's a lot more aggressive. So if you're playing in an open championship that gets gnarly, you can land up losing a lot of points. If you're making triples, you get bogey streaks. So if you're making bogeys, you're losing points. If you over par, you're losing points. Like you could have a whole bunch of jabronis playing the Rocket and John Deere Classic, and you could have 4 guys completely outscore maybe 6 dudes at the Open Championship, just given the fact that the scoring conditions are that much easier. So you're trying to take advantage of the different venues. And in the DAWG Dominator, I have the amount of golfers in each event that I have in my model that's available inside the top 125. You likely want to just keep going at the DP World Tour guys. You want to get the guys inside the top 125 because that's priority number 1. They're going to get in most of the events. Corn Ferry Tour guys, especially on the back end of the 30, they're going to struggle to get into contests early, into events early. So their utility is significantly lower. So maybe once you get towards the back end of your 150 drafts, you can start sliding a few of those guys in, but they're not going to provide you with much help early on. So that's basically just the gist of it. Let's go and find Matteo Manacero, because if you finished inside the top 30, which all these DP Tour World guys did, you are guaranteed to make it into the Open Championship, regardless of your world ranking. In the majors, the top 50 in the world make it into the Masters and the Open Championship. The top 60 make it into the US Open, and the top 100 make it into the PGA Championship. So the PGA Championship is pretty much a lock for most of the guys you're going to be drafting, but the US Open, the Open Championship, and the Masters is tricky. Also, if you've won a tournament, you make it into the Masters, and I believe the US Open too, since the US Open. All right, so number 71, my lord. Let's get to that one. Now that we are done, we're going to start powering through some drafts here. I kind of gave you guys the lowdown of what the tool does for you and how to use it. It's an awesome situation. All right, so number 71, we've drafted a bunch of dudes already. So Matthew McCarty, Stephen Yeager, Nick Dunlap. All right, we've got Jordan Spieth all the way in the 10th round. That might be too good to pass up. We've got Harry Hall, Seb Straka, Harris English, Tristan, Doug Gim, Jake Knapp again. We've got Harry Hall and Emiliano Grillo going on, and we are in the 9th round right here. So Harry going off early, but we can go ahead here and just see what happens if we pop Spieth in. Oof, I don't like how much that changes. It gives us 161, but then we're missing out significantly in Mexico. Round 2, the first event of round 2 is Mexico, and that's the hardest tournament so far that I've discovered to get you guys into. So you're trying to make sure that you got guys playing in Mexico. Harry Hall will be playing in Mexico because he is outside the top 60 in FedEx Cup rankings, I believe. Harry, he's 84th, but he makes it into the Century Tournament of Champions because he won the ISCO or something like that. So I don't want to be going with too much Jordan Spieth, especially with the wrist injury. But holy cow, all the way down here, it's a tough situation. But I'd rather just take an advantage of Mexico, because if you take a look at what Mexico's scoring average has been, it is the lowest of all the events in round 2. So even though you can't get 3 or you can't get 6 guys in there with the rest of the schedule figured out, you're really looking to kind of get at least 3 or 4 guys in every single draft playing in that tournament, because everybody else will likely only have 2 or 3 guys playing. So you're looking to try and at least get to 4, which we'll try and see as we go along in these drafts. But we've got at least a full house at the top for the round 1, so our advancement rate should be pretty high, given we don't have any single person sacrificing points. We at least get the 2 rounds. If they make the cut, we get 4. We've got 7-7. There's only 2 tournaments where we don't have 7 guys, so we'll have those 6 guys relying entirely on them. Boom. All right, hit that like button. Subscribe to Back9 Bets, please. I would appreciate that. Trying to get to 500 followers or subscribers on my channel so we can start doing some fun giveaways and subscriptions and premium crap and some cool stuff out there. So I would love if you could do that for me. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got Spieth. Let's just go with Harry Hall. Look at this. I mean, he has dropped significantly, man. But we gotta get Mexico in here. I hate to say it. So we're gonna take old Harry. All right, 81. Moving along. 161. We got Harry Hall in here again. 81. We have got no Harry drafted yet. So maybe we chill out on a bit of the Harry, kind of find a replacement for him. But we've got Matt Wallace, who made the cut and could potentially get himself inside the top 125 this week. Could he? Would he? You'd have to win, I believe. Oh, he's not on the bubble. He's right over here. So yeah, he is. Yeah. So if he plays some solid golf over the weekend, he could maybe sneak his way into the top 125. Joel Damon, by the way, sitting in 126 spot. He's going to be a fun watch this weekend. Obviously, once you have this tournament behind us, we'll know exactly who's inside the top 125. Then you've got critical key information to go off of for these drafts. So we're going to kind of take a peek at some more guys. Harry provides us with some utility there with Mexico and the Century, but we like other guys too. What my model's been telling me to do a lot of is go to Andrew Novak. He's a guy that's been playing some good golf. He plays a lot in that second stint, and that's nice to know because you're going to get 6 rounds out of him or 6 tournaments in that second leg if you go heavy with the big names at the top here. So Andrew Novak, is he available to us in this range? Maverick McNeely is a fantastic option because he is outside the top 50, but inside the top 60, which is nice to know because he is going back over here real quick. Maverick McNeely, he's number 1. So he is 100% guaranteed to be playing in the first 2 signature events. He's been playing great golf. Maybe he plays his way into the signature events. Maybe he has to just keep playing to play his way into them. And then we're going to get a crap ton of golf from old Maverick McNeely. The same goes for Harris English, Seamus Power, Patrick Rogers. He withdrew this week, Seamus Power, but he's in. I don't see him getting dislodged from that position. And in fact, I realized I don't have any. I've hardly been drafting any Seamus Power. I don't have a single one of him. I've got Harry Hall in 1.9% of my drafts. I got Harris English in 9.6. The Harry Hall situation is interesting because I feel like I've drafted a lot of him. Mark Hubbard, we got in 11.5% of our drafts. Andrew Novak, we got 9.6. So we're trying to get figured things out here. But Tony Finau's been one of my big guys. Nico Echeverria, guess what? Nico finding himself inside the top 60. He gets into the Century. He gets into the first signature events. He's a winner on the PGA Tour. He could be getting some serious utility, and he's been playing some good golf lately. Maybe he's found a good golf game. We can be drafting Nico in round 7 and 8. So I think I'm going to take a peek here and see if we can find Seamus. I don't have a single one of him. I was watching him play today, and I was like, why don't I have any Seamus in my stuff? So let's see if he's even available. He is. All right. Let's plug him in and see what it says if we do. Seamus Power doesn't give us any Mexico, but 158 isn't the worst. And if you get some variance in these lineups, you're going to be drafting 150 of them, and you've only got 10 picks. So you got to make sure you're clicking different names pretty much every single draft to avoid duplicates. You're trying to get as many. You want 150 different lineups to give you the best chance to take down the 50K. So we're going to go with Seamus as well. Let's do that. And then we can go with Nicholas Norgard, who's also a DP World Tour stud. I think he's going to do great on some of the bomb and gouge courses. He can hit it a country mile. Hits that driving iron of his 2-iron like 280. It's incredible. All right, Seamus Power in our lineups. Number 95 for our draft. Let's start powering through these things. All right. So where did we end number 95? We've only drafted 4 guys. By the way, my favorite combo to start the draft with is a Xander Schauffele, Tony Finau. Easily one of my favorites. I've noticed with those 2 guys, you can land up with a sexy 160 plus quite easily. So taking a look here, I mean, look, we've got a Xander Tony 163, baby. You know what I'm saying? We get 5 guys only playing in Mexico. The rest of round 2 is locked the hell up. We're only sacrificing one giveaway in round 3, which is the PGA Championship. Potentially one of these guys can play themselves into the top 100 and get himself in there. So I'm actually lying. That's the Charles Schwab. And guess what? The Charles Schwab, you're playing 1 stroke over par on average at that golf course. So you're not necessarily missing out on that much scoring. You know, it's a difficult venue. But at the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, you're scoring 2.5 under par, baby. So you got to make sure you're getting 6 guys in there, especially with an RBC Heritage, a Truist, and a Memorial, all as signature events. The guys that draft heavily for the top end of the fields are going to have a lot of options, especially with the Masters as well. So you're going to have 4 big time fields that you won't have all those shitty guys that are sitting outside the top 60 playing. So you have to make sure you're getting the CJ Cup correct along with the rest of your other guys. So as you can see, we have got the CJ Cup covered in this particular lineup because I have scheduled these schedules out for each particular golfer. So we're going to go Nick Dunlap, Matt McCarty to start off the 5th and 6th pick. Let's see where we find ourselves here. Nick Dunlap available. Beautiful. Let's go after him. Nick Dunlap also is part of a lot of my big lineups. Love what he can get up to when it comes to that. Also, by the way, friends, happy freaking Friday. If you've had a long week, unwind, chill the hell out. Take a second, enjoy your afternoon. Have a great weekend, okay? Phoebe's stretching. She's relaxing, taking advantage of this situation. We've got the Phoebe cam hot and heavy over here. She's also sitting in a spot that's hard to get the camera to. But she is relaxing. Become a Phoebe. Do your thing. All right. Also, come on over to YouTube. Hit the subscribe. Hit the like. Tell me you're watching. And leave me a comment there. You know what I'm saying? Or even on X. You can comment on X, I believe. All right. Number 77. Let's get to that draft. 161. Xander, Akshay, Davis, Max Grayson. Who have we drafted? We've gone to Sam Burns and Nico at the end of this one. So Sam Burns, Nico, Maverick McNeely, Patrick Rogers, Lucas Glover, Seb Straka. Those are our 4 that we're trying to get on the back end of this situation. We can get ourselves a Maverick McNeely. Let's go. He's a great utility piece for early on. He makes a lot of cuts, doesn't necessarily find himself at the top end of leaderboards. He is right now, but that's okay. You're not getting finishing position points. You just want to be making cuts, accumulating birdie streaks, accumulating birdie points, accumulating under par points. So Maverick McNeely on our team. 83. Number 83. We've got ourselves a total of 159, struggling in Mexico. We've got a Harris English over here causing us some issues. Mexico doesn't change if we throw Harris English out. So maybe we try to find somebody different to kind of get us in the mix over there. We've drafted Harris English too late. All good. So tough scenes for us. So 159, it's not terrible. You also have to sacrifice some variability when you're going lower. You get a different team by not getting in the 160s. You know, I'm going to have repeat teams if that is the case. So number 83, who we got available to us? Matt McCarty's down here. Rasmus, Keegan Bradley, Adam Svensson, Lucas Glover, Seb Straka. So we've got Lucas Glover, Patrick Rogers. Matt McCarty, what happens if we put Matt McCarty in instead of... Okay, that doesn't really do too much. If we do Matt McCarty instead of Glover, it doesn't really do too much. So the only difference when we do Matt McCarty versus Glover is we're getting additional Century Tournament of Champions over there. Shane Lowry doesn't play enough golf. Rasmus might land up missing the first few events, which includes the Sony and the Amex while he's playing on the Dubai side of things. But he's also, because he was the #1 Race to Dubai guy without a PGA Tour exemption, he gets to be in the first 2 signature events. So he is important to have in lineup. So maybe we just put him in here. Let's see what happens if we do that. But we're going to, instead of Glover, we'll go Rasmus. But Rasmus, you see, we immediately lose a guy at the Amex, which is outside of the Century, the easiest tournament on the roster, and you get 3 guaranteed rounds because the cut is in the 4th round only. So you're getting a lot of low scoring guaranteed for about 75% of that tournament. You got to make sure you're getting those guys in there. So you have to make sure you have an Amex guy, and unfortunately Rasmus is not one of them. So we're going to just keep going with what we had. We'll keep Glover in there. I hope he kind of gets himself into the top 60, but he's been playing good enough golf. He might just land up doing it later on in the year as well, kind of filling these roster holes we have later on, especially in round 3. You're hoping that the guys you draft on that kind of 70 FedEx Cup points bubble, once it resets, they get off to a good start again and get into those signature events. So let's go with Patrick Rogers if he's available. Doesn't look like he is. So, we're going to have to change some stuff. So what does it tell us? Yeah, Sam Stevens is suggested as a solid option, adjusted rank-wise. He gets us to 140 because we've already drafted him. That's not going to work. Sepp Straka, is he a guy we want? Nope, that doesn't help. We need a non-signature event guy who's going to be filling in the other holes for us. So we can go down here, hit the adjusted rank button, sorted A to Z. We're going to be looking for guys playing in Mexico. We're going to be looking for guys playing the Valspar and the Houston. We've filtered on that already, so you can see who the best options are. Michael Thorbjornsen is currently fighting to get exempt inside the top 125, but he's also going to be part of the PGA Tour University, PGA Tour U exemption, which puts him like 127th, 128th in priority ranking. It's going to be Rasmus, then Michael Thorbjornsen. So he's numbered 127. Matt McCarty is already inside the top 125. So he has got exemption anyway, even though he's a Corn Ferry Tour guy. His win at the Black Desert got him inside enough. So I think Michael Thorbjornsen is a solid option. He gets us to 159. I think he's going to be playing a lot of golf as a rookie on the tour. Is he available to us? Yes, he is. Let's freaking go. All right, so we're going to go with Thorbjornsen. Let's get to number 92 and figure out exactly where we are with only drafted 5, Jordan Spieth being the last. What does number 92 look like? Jordan Spieth. All right, maybe we can build one out here live on the show. So we've got Mackenzie Hughes, grades out great. Keith Mitchell, boy, he was leading the freaking RSM at one point and missed the cut. He shot like 7 over par today. He's got mental demons he needs to fight over this break. Very concerning golf he's been playing in the fall swing. Just had these blow-up situations, so he needs to come back rejuvenated. I've drafted way too much of him because Keith Mitchell is not a signature event guy. He'll be playing all the crappy tournaments, but he makes a lot of cuts. Doesn't necessarily get you inside the top 10 that much, but that's, again, not important. So let's figure out where we want to go here. Is Keith Mitchell and Mackenzie Hughes available to us? Keith Mitchell is, Mackenzie Hughes is not. But we've got Maverick McNeely, we've got Andrew Novak, we've got Will Zalatoris, Denny McCarthy, and Mark Hubbard are all good options. I am fans of all of these guys. Jason Day's finally made himself into the 40s for ADP. So let's take a look here. If we do Cameron Young, no, we're going to try and do some Mexico. Let's really focus on some Mexico. Let's focus on some Valspar in Houston. Let's focus on the Canadian Open and the Rocket Mortgage and the John Deere Classic, which we basically have faulted over here. So these are all guys down here that will be playing in those tournaments. So once again, what happens with this model is you're seeing the guys that are available in this ADP range. So early on when you're drafting, this is fine. But once you've drafted, this is draft number 92 for me. So I need to go outside of that ADP range and go to Patrick Rogers, Lucas Glover, Thriston, Thorbjornsson, Justin Lower, Rasmus, Doug Gim, Chandler Phillips. These are all guys that are going to be providing us a lot of utility in that second round because we've gone top heavy over here with Sanjay, Akshay, Hideki, Aaron Rai. Jordan Spieth is not in any signature events, but I've slated him to play in every single one of them, just given the sponsors' exemptions. Especially at Pebble, he's an AT&T guy. So I'm expecting him to be playing in a lot. He may not, which means he'll be playing in these other events as well. So he could potentially, if he's healthy, be a great piece to go with this year. So in the 32 spot, we got Patrick Rogers, Lucas Glover. I'm going to leave Mackenzie and Keith Mitchell alone because I've drafted a lot of them already. We've got Thorbjornsson and Thriston. Can go with the two Mike Tyson arch nemesis is there with Thriston and Thorbjornsson. Emiliano Grillo, Andrew Novak, Justin Lauer are guys we're going to be looking at. So let's put these guys in and see what happens. So we're going to go with P-Rod, Patrick. We'll go with, and then we can just kind of, as we go along here, we can refilter it and get the best guys available. Patrick Rogers jumps down. So let's go with Glover. He kind of moves his way down because he's going to replicate the events, so he won't be able to fill roster holes that he created. So now we got Thorbjornsson. That's number 6 for us. Boom. Then we're going to go ahead and filter on this again. And Mackenzie Hughes will be number 1. Ben Silverman pops up quite quickly. Let's put him in over there. That's a completely different name that I haven't been rostering for a while. Ben Silverman, 112th in FedEx Cup points. So he's inside the top 125, pretty much certain. He's going to be playing in all of these random events. Maybe he finds himself playing in the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Let me unhide that column. Whoopsie. Let's go the other way, yeah. Unhide. So Ben Silverman was a KFT guy. He wouldn't have got himself into the Waste Management Phoenix Open. So maybe we can add him to that. You can change these schedules. So I have the projected schedules for you guys over here. You can go ahead and change all of them, make them how you want or not, you know. So we're going to go to Ben Silverman. He's inside the top 125. Let's get him playing in the Waste Management Phoenix Open. I'd imagine he does because he's got that ranking now. He can do it. So now we've got him playing in all of these events. His world ranking is not going to give us any majors right now, but the Players' Championship will afford him a start as well. So that's a nice situation to find ourselves in. So what were we on? Number 92. Back to that draft. Okay. So Ben Silverman in the hizzy year. So we just need to find us. Oh, you see, we've got a situation at the Sentry though, which is going to give us some issues. So we'll build it out here. So now what we can do is just filter on a few guys like this. You go to the Sentry, filter out the blanks, and these are the guys that are left over. This is why I like Matt McCarty, Rafael Campos, not playing the greatest golf, but he gives you all of these starts. You know, he's inside the top 125 in FedEx. He's outside the top 160 in the world, but he will be playing at the Masters, which, you know, whatever. So Jonathan Vegas and Harry Hall, this is why we're going with a lot of them here, is they provide us with this opportunity to kind of get sexy over there. So Thorbjornsson doesn't give us, Lucas doesn't give us any anything going on for the Sentry. And he's currently outside the top 60 in FedEx. So let's find a different replacement for him over here. We'll take out, so what are we doing well now? We've got the Houston and the Valspar kind of lined up. We can go with, do we want to just do with Rafael and just maybe hope he plays well? I mean, this is draft number freaking 92, you know. He's going to be a difference maker that not a lot of people have. So that's the nice thing. If we put Matt McCarty in here, we're only at plus at 154. We've got problems, but we've got a lot of potential. You know, round 3 is the API. I'm not too concerned about missing 2 guys at that event because it is one of the most difficult tournaments in that stint. You're trying to want to go for guys that are going to be playing at the Mexico, making a lot more birdies, scoring a lot more points. The API, a bad option at the API could be hardly any points given the fact that it's well over par, tons of doubles available out there. You never freaking know. But I don't like the fact that it's 154. I want to get a bit higher up, and especially missing options at Pebble and the Genesis. So we need a late addition to Signature Event World. So we can potentially we can filter out the Mexico Open. Doesn't change anything for us. The Canadian we need a Canadian Open still. We are okay at the Rocket right now, so we can remove that filter. That's good. Doesn't help us. The Houston and the Valspar, we are good. So whoever we add doesn't need to be playing those. So this is how you use this tool. And now look, now we've got all of a sudden a lot more names to choose from. Some of them have been drafted, some of them haven't. And also we are only in pick 6 of this draft. So we likely will move most of these guys down. We can take a signature event dude early, or we can find a signature event guy late. Seb Straka, Jason Day, Adam Scott, Alex Noren, all guys down the board over here that are suitable options to go after in this situation. Cameron Young, is he available? He is. So we could potentially go Cam Young early. That might take away a few other options for us, but let's take a look here. We'll take these guys, shift them all down one spot, and then we put Cameron Young in there. And then we get to 160. We've got green lights all the way atop the board here. Fuck yes. Let's go. Okay. You're sorry for the language. Just getting a little excited over here. So let's do this. Let's get Cameron Young in. Where would Patrick Rogers go? So we've got our next pick would be pick 39. What is Rogers' ADP? 53. Oh, yeah. So we can, this is the nice part about kind of building these lineups early and taking guys way out of range. You can get them. You can find the lineups you really want, as long as you're going along. And we get some nice Cameron Young ADP value too. So guys down here will provide us some utility. Let's see if we change out Sam Burns as well. Same situation. Doesn't necessarily change that too much for us. So that's good to see. All right, so let's do Cameron Young. Haven't been drafting too much of him. He's on. Boom. All right, that one took a little while, but hey, it's important to kind of build these things out. So we've got number 96 next. Have we built that? I doubt it. We're going to build another one. Let's go. We've got a Xander, Hideki, Siwoo, Mackenzie, Hughes situation. Tommy Fleetwood's dropped a slight touch, nothing too crazy. Maybe we're going to go with Sam Burns in this range. Okay, so let's see. What did we have here? Siwoo, Mackenzie, Hughes. Mackenzie, Sam Burns. All right, what is it telling us? So we're looking. So when you kind of get into these situations, you want to go ahead and filter on the tournaments that provide you with your biggest holes. So we'll filter on. Basically, it's usually going to be the same filters all the time, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. So we'll go. Looks like we're pretty solid for the Valspar and Houston Open there because Sam Burns plays, I believe, some of those. All right. We'll get that out of the way. Then we need to make sure we're getting guys playing the Valero. It seems like that's going to be an issue for us. And then we need some guys that are going to be playing the John Deere and the Rocket, which is important. We don't need the Canadian yet. We've got 2 guys in there because of Mackenzie Hughes. And then we want the John Deere. So if you're pretty much playing the Rocket, you're also playing the John Deere Classic. But you're not in the Rocket field if you are playing the John Deere for some reason. Some guys don't find themselves in the mix there. So we're going to go ahead here and hit the ranking button for us again. Find a few guys to build this thing out with. Patrick Rogers provides you with so much love because he's inside the top 60. He gets you in there. Awesome stuff. He gives you 6 and 6 in the first little while. Now, maybe he doesn't play in Mexico since he'll be playing all 6 early on. Is he going to play 8 tournaments in a row? I doubt it. So let's go ahead. We've scheduled him to play as many as 8 early. That might not be the way to go. So let's change up our rankings here. Change up the projections as you're going along. You can create different scenarios for yourself in this world. So let's pretend Patrick Rodgers isn't an option for us at Vedanta. I'd imagine he takes 2 of these off if he's playing at the API and plays well. So we'll change that up. Then he gets himself into those 4. And let's just pretend he gets into the RBC Heritage as well. So we've taken away 2 and we've added 2. So he's still got the same amount of events, but that likely changes up his ranking for us because we need to fill holes. That's what this tool does so well. I was laying in bed trying to draft and taking a shit earlier, trying to draft, and I don't know where I'm clicking efficiently because I didn't have the tool in front of me. So you got to make sure you've got this in front of you every single time. All right. Number 96. Patrick Rodgers goes all the way to the 25th ranked guy now because he's not filling holes for us. So good to see. Thurston and Glover providing some utility again. Rasmus, Emiliano Grillo, Maverick McNeely, Nico, all guys we've drafted a decent amount of. So we're going to scroll a bit more. Chandler Phillips, 102nd. So he's not going to find himself playing that many signature events yet, but he's going to be giving you tons and tons of starts. And he's another guy that we haven't got playing at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, even though I believe he was a KFT guy. So let's go to Chandler Phillips' schedule quickly and change that. So, it's important to get this stuff going on here. Let's get projected schedule up. Yeah, Phillips. All right. Let's add him to the Waste Management. I think he'll be playing there for sure. All right, Phoebe needs to get out. There we go. We'll take away her camera because we don't want to just have a chair on there. And let's go back to number 96. The Chandler Phillips situation changed. He's 24th in the model now. So he jumps Patrick Rodgers and Doug Gim. Good to see. So Chandler Phillips's average draft position is we can just go backwards. Chandler Phillips. I don't mind Chan Kim either. We can do a double Chan. Boom, boom. And they're playing the same schedule, basically. The Chan Kim play, we can change Chan Kim's situation because he's probably also not a Waste Management Phoenix Open guy last year, but will be if he has found himself inside the top 125, which I believe he does, 108. So he was KFT, didn't play the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Let's add him to that. All right, back to number 96 now. So now we've got Chan Kim, Chandler Phillips playing some solid golf for us. When we need 2 more guys playing the Century, so let's find some Century options. Maybe we can go with some guys we don't typically click. Davis Riley is a name you won't find people clicking either. He's been disgusting lately, but he gives you Valero, he gives you Valspar, he gives you Houston, all of those tournaments that you might not find other good golfers playing in the Century also playing in. Davis Riley did not play the Waste Management Phoenix Open, even with a 67th FedEx Cup ranking last year. So we're not going to slate him in to play there this year. He probably won't be doing that again. Good. But we like him a lot. We need 1 more option inside the Century, and we're missing. So now we want to recalibrate our settings over here. So round 3, event 4, the Truest. So that's going to be a signature event. So maybe we need to find a signature event dude. So we're going to take away Mexico Open, which we've got 4 of already. And we can take away, that. But you know what? I don't know how that's going to help us. Nico, he could find himself sneaking into the Truest given his situation. He's sitting 59th in FedEx Cups right now. Kevin Yu sitting in 61st in FedEx. He must be flirting right with that range. He's inside it right now. So if these guys run hot, they can run into these other signature events. So Kevin Yu gives us a Century start, plays a lot of golf early. I've got him going 7 straight tournaments to begin the year. Maybe he doesn't play 7. Maybe he does. I don't know. Tom Hoagie did last year. So he won't be playing Mexico Open potentially. That's okay. Maybe he helps us get into those other signature events later on, because you're going to be getting FedEx Cup points in the signature events early. So that really does help you in that department. Some other names. I would imagine Nico plays the Mexico Open, but I'm not going to click his name again because we've done a lot of that. Let's take a look here. The Valero, that's a tough course to play. After we click Sam Burns, what other names would we like? Do we have... We need the John Deere and we need the Travelers in a big way, and we need the Canadian in a big way. So maybe it's going to be a Jonathan Vegas. Maybe it's going to be a Harry Hall. Matt McCarty provides you with that utility. If we take away the Valero, which, whatever, we get a few more names added to the mix. Jake Knapp is a solid option. Peter Malnardi. Yeah, he'll be playing the Century. Not a lot of people are going to be clicking Skinny Pete's name. He's 77th in FedEx Cup ranking, so he'll be playing some solid tournaments. He gives you a lot of good golf early on to help you late with the advancement rates. So let's do a weird thing here. It's a numbers game, not necessarily trying to find who's going to be playing the best golf. You're just trying to find different lineups. You're going to be drafting 150 of these things. So that doesn't necessarily help us a lot at all, actually. I mean, he just gives us 6 more. We have a really bad situation on our hands, yeah. Who's a good ranking? Let's filter on our rankings, yeah. Nick Dunlap after Sam Burns. So maybe we move Kevin down to the bottom over here, and we get Nick Dunlap in there. Now we're at 155. We green the top across the top there, and we've got a decent chunk of dudes. Mackenzie Hughes, Kevin Yu, Davis Riley, Chan Kim, not so much Chandler Phillips, but they can all potentially fill a lot of the holes that the signature events are leaving out. That's basically the situation over here. Once again, Mexico Open, hard to find golfers playing in that tournament. So we'll go with Sam Burns, and then Nick Dunlap might not make it back to us. So does Denny McCarthy help us in that department, if in case? Yeah, he does. Cool. So we've got a Denny backdoor if we need to, but we're going to go with Nick if possible. Other options in that range. Will Zalatoris, what happens if we put his name in there? Does that help us? No. 3 less events. So that seems like our core that we're going to roll with. We can edit as you go. So as we've done in previous drafts where I've already built the thing. So I'm also going to try JT Poston one more time in Nick Dunlap's spots. Loses 1. So cool. Let's go with Sam Burns over here. What happens if we do Wyndham Clark as well? I haven't clicked a lot of Wyndham either. 154 to 155. Ugh. So, I think I like Sam Burns. He was playing some solid golf. Let's go with him. All right. Number 98. I don't think I even have I do have a 98. Okay. We've got these guys. Let's see how many we've drafted. We've drafted exactly that amount. So who do we have available at ADP? We've got 8 and 9 available to us. Robert McIntyre has dropped substantially. I don't think he's going to help us with anything. Okay, maybe. But we are struggling in Mexico again. You see, this is the thing. If you start clicking names, you've got a Mexico problem. It is a freaking... If this was an election, this is a key swing state. Not to bring up any politics, but you know what I'm saying. It's a leverage event. It's the easiest event of the 7 in that pod. It's the event people aren't going to have hardly any golfers in. Let's just pretend we go, okay, Robert McIntyre, sweet. And then we go Shane Lowry or Matthew McCarty, I guess. Maybe Matthew McCarty doesn't play there. Maybe he does. We're going to go Matt McCarty. He'll give you 2. And then we go to pick number whatever. And we go with Sepp Straka, for instance, or Matt Fitzpatrick or something. You're going to go with another guy. Sepp Straka, boom. You're sitting at 153. You've only got 2 guys playing in Mexico still. So this is the situation we need to correct and at least try and get ourselves to 4. So we've filtered on Mexico. We've got ourselves rocking and rolling there. We need to figure out who we want in the 5-hole, which is the Valspar. We're looking pretty good at Houston. So let's take away Houston. The Canadian Open, as always, needs some love. It seems like that's the problem child we have lately. The API, I'm not too concerned about. Sorry. The CJ Cup, though, is important to have some guys playing. Again, it's the easiest event. It's an event that not a lot of people will be playing in if you're clicking the big names. Comprende? Comprende. So the Rocket, again, we need to have the Rocket in our filter because that's important. So we've got the 4 events that we need desperately filtered on ourselves here. Round 3, we got that. Beautiful. What are we missing? We're missing one filter. The 4th round, it's the Rocket, the Canadian, the CJ Cup, the Valspar, and Valero. Okay. Hit the button. What pops up? Michael Thorbjornsen. Love it. Let's go. And now these are my projections. I don't know if he's going to be doing well or not. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. Glover, Lower, Phillips, Thriston, Grillo, Harry Hall, Doug Gim. All guys I've clicked a lot of. I'm going to go with Ben Silverman. Oh, we've got a guy. Rasmus jumps significantly after clicking him. So I know Rasmus will be before Michael in ADP. So we can figure those two switchy. And now we need a late round century because we are lacking a century who needs to be playing in Mexico and the other ones that we need quite considerably. But we can remove some filters again to give us more options. So we can keep the Valspar. We need to keep Mexico. We're going to keep this. We got to filter on the century because we need a guy playing the century. And then that's it. Those are the only ones we need to keep. We've got Valero covered to 5. That's fine. Whatever, the model suggests. The CJ Cup, we got 4. We got to keep that. Okay. And then on the back end, we've got enough. Hopefully they're playing the Canadian and the Rockets. But those are also, you know what? They're important. These are important ones later on because if you're playing up against 250 odd people, you need 6 guys playing in every lineup. In my opinion, the most important 2 rounds is round 1, the first one, and then round 4, the last one. You got to get your guys through, and this tool will then help you through the 2nd and 3rd round because not a lot of people have it figured out like we have. And then round 4, you got to maximize getting as many guys in, particularly at the Rocket and the John Deere, which are the 2 easiest events. Freaking the Travelers, it's the one signature event that is really easy as well, which a lot of people will have playing in that tournament. But we need to make sure we have got the Rocket and the John Deere waxed up. So let's see. Who does this kick it out to? It's the same guys again. Maybe we remove the Valspar since it's not that big of a deal. It gives us Patton Kazaya. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. He won. And now we've got a green light at the top, 157. Solid lineup, in my opinion. So, you know what I'm saying? I think this is also a lineup that not a lot of people will have. We've got Scotty Davis-Thompson, Corey Connors, Mackenzie Hughes, JT Poston, Steven Yeager, Rasmus Højgaard, Michael Thorbjornsen, and Patton Kazaya. 3 random names at the end. Steven Yeager hasn't been hardly drafted. So, important to remember when you're doing all of this stuff. So let's get Rasmus in over. He's been drafted. God damn it. All right. So you take him out. Who does the model suggest? We can filter on a Harry Hall. Ugh. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for him. In this range, we'll have some other names. Andrew Novak, as always, going to be a great piece. Is he? Let's just keep milking Novak. He's been drafted. Frick. Harry, are we going to, you see, this is the thing. Sam Stevens, Harry Hall, Thriston might be playing in Mexico. Jake Knapp and Doug Gim will be. So if we go, let's see, Doug Gim gives us a 156. Okay. If we go Jake Knapp, gives us a 151. No. If we go Jason Day, gives us a 155. No. If we go Harry Hall, gives us a 155. So far, Doug Gim has been the guy that's going to really help us get different. If we go with Tristan Dietrich, does Dietrich do anything? 156. Doesn't play Mexico. Any other Mexico guys that play here? Justin Lauer. Jonathan Vegas plays in Mexico quite routinely. Patton Kazai we've got in already. Chandler Phillips will be playing in Mexico maybe. Who the heck knows? What happens if we do Tristan? 157. Boom. Okay, that's easy peasy. Let's go. So we'll go with Tristan, Thorbjornsson, and Kazaya for our last three. So we can just keep moving along here. I just want to click SEP one more time and just see what happens. Same situation, but doesn't give us Mexico. I want Mexico on my card. If we're sacrificing an API to get an extra Mexico, that is a trade-off I would do 100 times over 100 because you're going to score so many more points in Mexico than at the API, even though you're getting 4 rounds. The guy you're drafting is likely going to be very good. Hopefully he makes the cut more often than not, So that's kind of the theory we're going with here. Let's go. Okay, we got to start going here because I have to go and play some golf with my buddy on his simulator. We've got a Ludwig, Tony, Aaron, Tom Hoagie. So early on, you can kind of click some random names. I don't mind taking guys that fall. We'll take a swing. Tony Finau being in the first situation here helps a lot. So let's go with Wyndham Clark. I'll type that in some other time and figure out the 5 on the back end. Number 91, we got another 5-hole here. We can figure out where we want to go. Mackenzie Hughes gives us an option in Mexico. Hopefully he's playing in Mexico. If he isn't, we are screwed. So it's either Mackenzie Hughes or Keith Mitchell. Nick Dunlap won't be playing Mexico either. So we're going to go with Mackenzie. Mackenzie's ADP was sitting around 40, and it's now inside the 20s. But we like him. He gives us an early bunch of signature events. He's playing some freaking good golf right now. If he wins this week, which I have an outright on him, we're in trouble because he won't be playing in Mexico in that department. All right, number 75 ends with Sam Burns. Available to us is Wyndham Clark in the 30s. Maybe that's where we land him. Cameron Young, also another ADP value over here with Justin Thomas slightly. So let's go to number 75. See what on earth is going on with that draft. By the way, if you've just tuned in, this tool is available at Patreon. Search The Model Maniac, $30. It's 3 drafts of the 150 you're going to be doing. As you can see, it's a very important tool when you're doing these drafts. If you're not doing slow drafts, it's going to help you even more when you are doing the fast ones because you cannot keep track of what the hell's going on during those drafts with 30-second picks. This tool, the adjusted rank, will help you a lot. The quicker you get figuring this bottom piece out here with the filters, that can help you as well. Figure it out in the link in the description. Grab it. It's yours. 2 people sign up again. I'm changing the price higher because we've got then 20 people that have bought it. So I appreciate every one of you that have. Then we're going to jump that price up so that when you have it, it is an exclusive tool to you. You're getting your early ADP DAWG Dominator value because the price is going to be going up, friends. So bear that in mind. Love you all. Hit that like button, subscribe, please, and thank you. So we've got Sam Burns over here. What we said, Wyndham Clark is available. Click his name. Then it kicks out JT Poston down at the bottom here. Cool. Then we'll go Alex Noren, Billy Horschel. I haven't drafted too many Billies, but look at this. Now it's telling us even this tool can be a little misleading. I mean, we have 0 Mexico Open people all of a sudden. That's not good at all. So, you got to be aware of that situation. Let's just see what happens, though, if we just follow the tool with the ADP. This is why the ADP is a problem, is because it limits the amount. All of the rankings that are good rankings are outside of this ADP range, which I need to probably figure out how to bring those rankings in, but they will be down here for you. So they are there. You just got to filter on them every time you've entered someone, which is a bit clunky, but I'm not a complete wizard when it comes to Excel. I don't know how to do that. Andrew Novak's going to provide some great utility, and Sam Stevens, it seems like some names down at the bottom here. Michael Thorbjornsson once again at the bottom, but you got to also like guide this model in the right direction. This, just going off the ADP and the adjusted ranges here isn't going to work. I mean, look at this 143. You've got no one playing in Mexico. You've got a hole at the Sony, which is a low scoring affair. Some massive holes on the back end of round 2. Ugh. So let's go. Let's get Mexico. We need at least 4 guys playing in Mexico, unfortunately. Do we have any Mexico values down at the bottom? We got Nico, maybe. We can maybe snag Nico if he falls down to us. But I'm okay going with just 4 guys, or do we want to prioritize 5? Let's try prioritize 5. And then this might be freak, dude. We got to go. We got to get some stuff going on. Okay. So let's go with, I would imagine Nico plays in Mexico, but let's go with someone that we know will. So let's just freaking click Andrew Novak early. And then we're just going to go with just load up on Mexico, load up on Houston. Okay. Let's do this. Mexico. A to Z. Glover, Thriston, Michael Thorbjornsson, Emiliano Grillo. So let's go with Grillo. Let's go with Thor. Let's go with Thriston. Let's go with Novak. And then somewhere in the, oh boy, we need some Century guys as well. This is tricky. So Nico definitely helps us if he lands up playing in Mexico. If he doesn't, so be it, hey? Nick Taylor, what does he do for us? Why is Nick Taylor not in the Century? He won the waste management, right? That might be a problem on the schedule for me. He did. Shoot. Okay, let's go change that real quick. Nick Taylor. Cool. Add him here. Now is he gonna play? Oh. He's inside the top 58 as of the last time we looked, but he's outside. So let's just remove those because then he'll play all of these events. Okay. Mrs. Maniac's getting ready in the side, yeah. Back to what draft was this? 75. Okay. Okay, we've got Nick Taylor. And let's go with Nico as well. Nico and Nick. Oh boy, but we've got some missing back end pieces, the Genesis and Pebble. So Nick Taylor's not in that one. Thriston won't be. Rasmus will be. That's why he's such a key piece. He likely won't be in Mexico. Is Nick Taylor going to be in? Sorry, Rasmus won't be in Hawaii for the Sony. Potentially not. Do we not have any Sony guys early on? I've got Nico playing the Sony. Yep. Nick Taylor's playing the Sony. Yep. Rasmus is not. So we're going to have to find, does Jason Day help us? No. Does Adam Scott help us? I doubt it. No. Alex Noren? Oh, we need a Farmers. Who would be, does Grillo play Farmers? How do I go? Yeah, let's get this out of here. Okay. Grillo. Does he play the Farmers? He does. Shoot. But you know, the Farmers is a tough venue, man. Plus 155 is... You see, Rory is a problem. He's a problem. He causes a lot of issues for us. Like, in a big way. Yeah. I think we just don't have enough slots, so we're gonna have to sacrifice the farmers. All good, whatever. Okay, let's go Nico. Take a chance on him because we only have 5 guys over there. Number 89. It's one of our last picks. Number 9 over there. Let's freaking go. Let's click some names fast here. No more building lineups and things. We're gonna go. Seb Straka, Lucas Glover on the clock. We don't have either. Boom, boom, boom. Seb Straka, Lucas Glover. Seb Straka. Okay, boom. In 57. That might be a totally different file that I have. Yes, it is. All right, so let's go over here, pull up another file quickly. Docs, news desk, whatever. PGA news desk stuff. For Rotoballer, shop. We're going to go to the old one, which has got all the previous drafts. You can only fit so many tabs in a Excel sheet, by the way. So if you land up maxing out your tabs, you want to keep a track of the teams you've drafted after each draft. You just duplicate a tab, and then you have it. So we're going to go to number 57 over here, see what it's telling us to do. And we got a 158 with Campillo in the mix. All right, so it's the 9th one. I'm assuming Campillo, and where are we? Why? This is the wrong one. We need Kevin Yu, Chandler Phillips, and Campillo. Which ones have we drafted? We need all 3 of them. So let's go with Chandler Phillips. There we go. He's on. All right, number 80. Let's see what our situation is with number 80. 159. Love it. Green atop the top there. That's beautiful to see. Only drafted 4. We've got a draft built out exactly for those guys. Eric, Corey Connors, Benny Arndt, Tom Hoagie. That is what you call a volume-based start. I decided to take all 4 guys that I have really high up on my projections, changing up the lineups. I don't have any guys from the first round in that lineup. So it's a completely different. When we get to the final round, if this lineup gets to the round 4 against 250 other people, it's different. That's good. You know, I've got a bunch of the other guys already. And then we're going to throw Nick Dunlap. I've built a complete juggernaut of solid options over here. So is Nick Dunlap even available? I think, he got taken. Fuck. Okay. So we're going to go with who? JT, Taylor Pendrith, not a bad option. Luckily, we don't lose too much. Let's go tape TP here. Okay. 159. Solid. Okay. So let's go Taylor Pendrith. Has he been taken? Hopefully not. Boom. Okay. We're going to go with him instead of Nick Taylor. That's fine. Totally different lineup for me. Then we're going to go Hideki, Tony, Victor, Tom, Kim. What number is this? I don't have one. So we'll just leave that one alone. We can just go off the cuff here. Get this one out the way. With Victor involved, I'm scared of volume. So we're going to go with someone that provides us with a lot of signature events as well. JT Poston's a solid option late. Tony Finau gives us a Mexico if he plays there again. Good stuff. All right. So we can do that. Number 90. We got to get to 5 hours because I don't think I'll be gone for that long. Number 90. Okay. Rory, Nick Dunlap, Andrew Novak are the last 2. Matt McCarty, Kevin Yu. Let's see who's available. Brian Harmon, Denny McCarthy, Matt McCarty. Been taken. Freak. Take him out of here. Who do we want? Mark Hubbard, Denny McCarthy, JT Poston. Are they any of those guys? Brian Harmon available? Yes, he is. Wow, we are down to the bare bones here. What happens if we do Brian Harmon? I don't think he plays at the Amex, unfortunately. So that's a problem. Will Zalatoris, I think, plays at the Amex. Is he available? He is. Okay, let's type his name in. We got a Waste Management Phoenix Open problem. Does Seb play at the Waste Management? No, he doesn't. Okay, let's get him out of there. And we can just add, let's go with like Adam Scott. Boom. Okay, sweet. So there we go. Brian Harmon, was he the guy we filled it in with? Will Zalatoris we filled in with. Boom. Okay. In. Number 42. That's going to be that one. Let's go. We are cruising. We are cruising over here. 158. 42. We've got Maverick and Matt down at the bottom. I don't know if I even have this one built up. We don't. Okay, I'm going to just move this quickly so I can type it incorrect. Lee. We've got Akshay, Tom Kim, Siwoo, Tom Hoagie. This is also a massive high volume lineup. I like this one. So it's going to be important to round this one out nicely at the end. Nico, Matt McCarty, Matthew. No, it's Matt McCarty. There we go. Maverick. So we got Chandler Phillips, Kevin Yu as our last two guys. We need some Mexico love in a big way, and the rest. Thor, Glover, Lauer, Rogers, Novak, Hall, Phillips provide some love over there. I'd imagine this hasn't been updated for Phillips's waste management as well, but we don't need that. We need a whole bunch of Valspar guys. That's gonna come in handy. Chandler, good. He's a nice fill. And then we need someone that's also going to be playing mix. We could get a really nice score on this one. So we need Mexico and the API potentially. So we basically just need a last minute signature event, dude. So we're going to be able to get Chandler Phillips for sure. Patrick Rogers is available. Do we take a gamble on him knowing that he might... No, that's not going to get it to us. Alex Noren, 158. Adam Scott, 159. Ooh, baby. And if we go Chandler instead of... Yes. Okay, I love that. Let's go. Is Adam Scott available? I haven't been drafting too much of Adam. No, he hasn't been taken. Beautiful. Adam Scott in the second last round. What are we doing with that? Incredible stuff. Okay. So we get Chandler Phillips next. We'll make sure that he's in the queue. And then we got three more. 51. Let's go. 51. How many guys have we drafted? Nick Dunlap, Sam Stevens are the last two. So Patrick Rogers, Harry Hall, Doug Gim, Jonathan Vegas, the core kind of guys that I have been drafting earlier. I've been kind of going away from them lately. A 159. No holes outside of the Open Championship, really. So that's good to see. So Patrick Rogers, Harry Hall are some names that we'll be looking at. What happens if we go with Max Homer late in the fours over here? Cameron Young all the way down here again. What happens if we do Cameron Young instead of Patrick Rogers? Oh, yes. Okay. Love that. Let's do that. Okay. Boom. He's in. Love it. Nice value as well. That'll be a different lineup amongst all the weird ones late on. We need Jason Day, Andrew Novak, number 60. So that's this guy. All the way over. Do we even have a 60 somewhere? I don't know if we have a 60. We've got 61, blah, blah, blah. We don't. Interesting. All right, we'll just go to the DAWG Dominator and just put him in there. All right. Oh boy. Colin, Aaron, Tom, Benny. Colin, Aaron, Tom, Bjorn, Poston, Day, Novak. Okay. Need Mexico. Bad. Mackenzie, Keith, Mav. Is Mav available? Doubt it. Patrick Rogers is always available. Glover, Sam Stevens, Sarah Paris, English, Tristan, Dugim, Thor. Let's do. Who's it telling us to go with here? Thor's our guy. Glover, Grillo. Cool. Let's go with Thor. Okay. Cool. One more, baby. All right. Scramble number 73. Right over here. We've got a 161 figured out. We are looking. Got a Jordan Spieth in the 10th round. Interesting. Instead of Mateo. What happens if we do Spieth? Sure. Why not? I mean, we're probably losing a Spieth in the. Do we want some ADP or do we want some? Does Spieth play in Canada? Mateo likely will. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't have him playing in Canada, but he could. So let's just go with him. Who else do we have that's down here? Spieth, Lowry. Lowry will be in Canada, but he won't be in anywhere else. Doug Gim, Alex Noren. Let's see what happens if we do Doug Gim over here. Nope, we lose that. We go Alex Noren. Nope. We go Shane Lowry. Nope. Can we get a Canada guy? That's the question. I'll take Mateo out. Thor gives us a Canada. Maybe he plays in Canada. I don't know. I've got him playing a lot. Patton Kazaya. Is he going to be playing in Canada? No. Let's just go with Mateo. All right. Boom. All right, people. Sweet. Go check out the Patreon at The Model Maniac. Please go check it out there. Grab it for yourself. You need this tool in a big way. As you've seen, it's very, very handy. Hit the like button. Subscribe on the way out. Really appreciate you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. See you soon. Boom.